Popcorn Stitch is an 8-row pattern. It is available as a free download on our website. Popcorn is quite an easy, simple stitch. We make these little bumpy bobbles without turning the work around. Normally with bobbles, you come to where the bobble is, you increase and make a cluster of stitches. Then you turn the work around and you work back over those clusters. Then you turn the work around again and work back over them. This is a little bit slow. With this popcorn stitch, you don't do that. You make the bobbles by MS, make stitches. Knit one, purl one, knit one, all into the next stitch. So you go along the row and you make these clusters of 3. When you come back on the next row, when you get to the little clusters, you purl the 3 stitches, then you pass the second stitch over the top of the first stitch and the third stitch over the top of the first stitch, and you're back to 1 stitch in that spot. And hey presto, you've completed your little bobble. You might wonder why in row 2 we have purl 1, then purl 2, make stitches, purl 1. Repeat from the asterisk to the end. What actually happens is you have 3 purl stitches. So you do that purl 2, make the stitches, purl 1, purl 3. Instead of writing purl 3 together, by doing it this way, it just brings you to the end, which is a purl 1. So you start with a purl 1, finish with a purl 1, but in between all these making of the stitches, the clusters for the bobbles, it's actually purl 3. This is row 2. I completed row 1, which was knit. I have knitted 3 stitches for my garter stitch border. That's not part of the popcorn pattern. So, purl 1, make stitches, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, all into the next stitch. So you've made a cluster. Then purl 3, 1, 2, 3. Make the next cluster. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 3, 1, 2, 3. Make the next cluster. Knit 1. Purl 3 and continue to the end of the row. This is row 3. Knit 1. Then the pattern says MK. That means make the knot. You do that by purling the 3 stitches in that cluster. 1, 2, 3. So you have 1, 2, 3 in the cluster, first, second, third. Pick up the second one and pass it over the first one. Pick up the third one and pass it over the first one as well. Knit 3 in between the bobbles. Now make the knot. There's the cluster of 3. Purl 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we'll make the knot. Pass the second one over the first one, pass the third one over, and there you've completed your little knot. These ones don't sit up as high as bobbles made in the more usual way, but they're still very attractive, small bobbly knots. And continue to the end of the row. Row 4 is a purl row. Row 5 is a knit row. When we get to row 6, we start making the offset little bobbles. So the first set of bobbles was here. The second set is offset. Very simply done. When we made these bobbles, we did a purl 1 at the beginning before we made the cluster. In row 6, we purl 3, then make the cluster. Row 6, purl 3, now make the extra stitches, make the cluster. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, all into the next stitch. When we purl 3, this finger underneath will feel that on the second of the 3 stitches you're directly over the previous bobble, that one there. You can always feel if you're in the right spot. Then make the next cluster, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. Now the purl 3, and I can feel that bobble there, 1, and it's directly under that. It keeps everything in line. And continue to the end of the row. So you can see this is quite an easy stitch. It'd be a lovely stitch to do on a larger garment if you want a bobble effect, but you don't want the turning backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards to make large bobbles that really pop out. These are just little popcorn stitches that just pop out a little bit. This stitch always reminds me of a beautiful wall I saw in Salamanca in Spain. It was the wall of a university building, and it had little pieces just like this all over the wall. Here's where I used the popcorn stitch on my blanket, the Epping Textured Sampler knee rug. I used it twice, once here, and the second time I used just a little strip of it here. Remember, the free pattern is available to download from our website. Thank you for watching, and happy knitting.
Here are the steps to download Daphne's patterns and to view the videos on her YouTube channel. Send an email to knitwithdaphne@gmail.com and include the subject free download. There is no need for any content in the email. You will receive an automatic email reply that includes 2 links. One is a link to Daphne's YouTube channel. The other is a link to the downloadable patterns. When you click the link, the Knit with Daphne folder with all the downloadable patterns will open. Double-click on any line to open and download the pattern. Double-click on Stitch Patterns to open the folder with the individual knitting stitch pattern. Enjoy Daphne's designs and happy knitting!